in that courtroom for 42 years.
This was an accident, period.
We need to establish a firm defense.
There's no we here, Henry. I wish I liked you more.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you another of my first time watch reviews. Today I'm taking a look at the 2014 courtroom drama, The Judge. The film is directed by David Dobkin and it stars Robert Downey Jr., Robert Duvall, Vera Farmiga, Billy Bob Thornton, Vincent D'Onofrio and Jeremy Strong. Now, the film focuses on Robert Downey Jr.'s character, Hank Palmer. He is a big city lawyer, doesn't know how to lose, and he knows it, basically. He is in the midst of a breakup with his wife, and essentially his mother dies. So he has to go home to his small town that he hasn't been for many, many years due to an estranged relationship with his father. They don't get on, they don't speak, so therefore he just doesn't go. But he has to go, it's his mother's funeral, so he turns up there, reconnects with his brothers. He's got a brother called Glenn and a brother with disabilities called Dale. Whilst there, and bickering with his father and all the rest of it, his father gets arrested and suspected of murder, basically. So Robert Downey Jr. has to essentially put aside their differences and learn to get on in order to defend his father in the best way that he can. Right, what are my thoughts on The Judge? Well, I've been wanting to watch this one for so long, and again, like many of these on the first time watch playlist, I suppose, it's one of those that just keeps getting pushed down the playlist sort of thing. But after watching it now, I mean, the first thing I'm going to say is I'm delighted to have seen it. Very, very good film. It's one of those films that kind of cleanses you, because if you're like me, you know, I spend a lot of my time like not watching horrors, sci-fi, action, you know, all these like magnificent over-the-top movies that just, you know, take you into their world and just, you know, really immerse you in different, you know, fantasies and all this kind of stuff. And occasionally, in my opinion anyway, I like to watch films like this that are very, very grounded, that are very character driven and fronted by extremely talented actors, because at times I just like to watch the craft of acting, the art form of acting. I really do sometimes just need that quiet just to watch it and just to remind myself, yeah, you know, it could be special, this business. And that's very much what you get here for the most part. There's, you know, it's, yes, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a very polished film, you know, it was a cinema release, you know, I seem to remember it, you know, doing reasonably well at the cinema, and it got great reviews and everything like that. I'm not saying it's one of those that's flown under the radar or anything, but like, it's definitely not, you know, in keeping with, you know, what modern audiences, you know, or what studios think modern audiences want to see. You know, it's a very grounded story with, you know, very centered acting performances. Robert Downey Jr. Right. A lot of people, I think, now, they look at Robert Downey Jr. and they see Tony Stark. That's fine. That's fair enough. He's brilliant as Tony Stark, or he was brilliant at Tony Stark. A lot of people forget that this guy was nominated for an Oscar as Chaplin early in his career. He has got... I would be very disappointed if Robert Downey Jr., you know, doesn't get more plaudits by the time he retires. He's starting to get them now because of Oppenheimer and stuff like that. But this guy is... He can put in powerhouse performances, and he does it again here. Really fantastic performance, central performance by him, who in many ways it reminded me a little bit of his performance, of Tom Cruise's performance in Rain Man. At the beginning of Rain Man, Tom Cruise's character was overconfident, self-absorbed, selfish, The whole shebang, really. And that very much kind of describes Robert Downey Jr.'s character for the most part at the beginning of this film. And he goes on a journey in this film, reconnecting with his family, his brothers, his ex-girlfriend, all this kind of stuff. And by the end of the film, he's a very, very different person, a different character to the person that we met at the beginning of the film. And that's very similar to the Tom Cruise performance in Rain Man. And I enjoy that. I enjoy watching actors and characters going on journeys, sort of thing, seeing an arc play out in a film. And he does it brilliantly. Robert Duvall, what can you say? One of the legends of Hollywood. Incapable of a bad performance. He's just one of those true professionals that just nails it, and he does it again here. I love his performance here. At times it can really frustrate you because you're kind of like, it's your son. I mean, the constant bickering between him and Robert Downey Jr.'s character. You know, this Robert Duvall's character, Joseph Palmer, he's been like a judge in this little town for 42 years. He's arguably the most respected man in this town, and then to get accused of murder, you know, he basically, he's got everybody's respect. And his children essentially are intimidated by him, and Robert Downey Jr. certainly is. You know, all he's ever really wanted to do is please him, and you know, he never gets that acknowledgement from his father. So to see them kind of butt heads throughout this film and then slowly come to terms with the issues that they've got with each other was a real joy to watch these two actors doing that on film. These two incredibly talented actors playing that out on screen for us. And then you've got the whole courtroom drama stuff as well, which, you know, when done right in films like this can be really well done. And while I wouldn't describe this one as like heavy on the courtroom drama, there is certainly a good amount of it. It's more about the reconnecting with the family and the build up to the court case and how are they going to defend him and all that kind of stuff. And then when they actually get to the courtroom drama sort of thing, it actually plays out in quite a grounded way, in my opinion. You know, some of these courtroom dramas, you get these over the top, you know, twists and turns and that kind of stuff, and you don't really get that here. You don't even get an outcome that you're particularly pleased with, if I'm being honest here. But there's some great moments again in the courtroom drama stuff. You've got Billy Bob Thornton, again, incredibly reliable actor, brilliant actor. He plays the opposition, he's the prosecutor. And I do want to mention as well Jeremy Strong, who plays Dale Palmer, the younger brother of Robert Downey Jr. He plays him, he's got learning disabilities, autism, but he does it very, very well. It's not a Hollywood performance. It's actually quite a grounded performance, quite a realistic performance, and I appreciated it. I thought in a movie with such powerhouse actors, I didn't want his performance to kind of go unnoticed, because I noticed it and I thought it was very, very good. So, I mean, this is definitely one, if you've never seen it and you like the sound of it, you really, really must try it. Great film, great courtroom drama, fantastic performances, and some very, very touching moments as well that will probably put a lump in your throat in all the right places. So, yeah, I really, really am very pleased that I checked this one out, and I strongly recommend it. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I certainly hope you find it useful, and I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.